Okay, so I believe we're reacting to Blackout tattoos today. Just back to basics here. I think this is like episode number 36 or 37 of Blackout tattoos.
Oh my goodness.
That doesn't include like one-offs like color on black and like black work features of people and things like that. Like it's a lot. There's a lot of these. They're kind of the prime export, it seems like. So
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the waffle, as you call them. Just wanted some of your insights on how this first pass turned out. It's about a month old and going for the second soon. Thanks, Remy. Much love.
So this is a real like when I think of like black work, and like no one should take this the wrong way, but like the lower arm Blackout is kind of like the lion and pocket watch of black work.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like the like basic bitch starting Blackout.
Yeah, everybody's got it.
Blackout starter kit.
Yeah, they walk in and they go, I want this, and then they show you this, and you're like, yeah, okay.
Well, like whenever someone's doing a black, and I also think that like, cause like mine, if you remember how mine first started way back at the end of like 2016 or whatever it was, it was like the top right bicep.
Yeah.
Right, like
And
it was
well,
like,
you had a lot. You were like, no, we're just gonna black around all this stuff, and then you were like, oh, we're just gonna black this out.
The whole top of it went like
Yeah.
there was nothing on the top that was worth saving.
No, the top was pretty. It was pretty bad.
Yeah,
And then you didn't ever really love the fire on the bottom,
Yeah.
so that went next for sure.
Well, we did the whole top of the bicep, and then we kept some. There were some things kind of worth working around in my mind at first on the lower part, but the whole top of my right arm was like cannon fodder. It
Yeah.
was just like whoa, and there was so much work up there too. Like there was at least 50 hours of work that went into just the top of my right bicep.
I feel like the bottom of your arm is just more gratifying because people see it
Yes,
more, and it
that's
also
exactly
hurts
it.
less. So.
I was gonna say, like, other than the wrist, people don't seem to mind anything on their lower arm.
Yeah.
Whereas their upper arm, the whole inner bicep seems to really stress
Yeah,
people
right
out.
around that pit, and then that's sort of like the back shoulder area. It's pretty spicy. Anyways.
I think the whole arm is like a day off, like for all of it. Like I've had too much experience now where I'll sit down with Rick to work on my arm for session 56 on just this sleeve, and
Yeah.
it feels like a fucking day
Holiday.
off. It does. It like and like because I have a much worse session coming up with Terry on my back. We're going to be on my lower back again. I'm constantly doing things that are in other areas that make me again appreciate the arm. Every time I
Right.
sit down with for an arm session, it's like, well, at least it's not this. Well, it's like I'm constantly having that reinforced. Just hit my fingers. That was worse. So this looks fresh, right? And
Yeah.
then this is healed.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
No,
So
those
this
are two
is
different
healing.
tattoos.
No, this is the same guy.
No, look it. He's got knuckle,
Is it?
no knuckle.
No, I think the knuckles might have. Well, I don't know.
No,
It
that's
looks like the same arm, is it?
no, it's not.
Okay, well maybe I'm looking at someone else's shit. I'm just looking now. Okay, yeah, that's part of this other guy's.
Yeah, these are all over the place.
That's okay. So, I think this is all the same, is it? This is one guy? No. Yeah, I think this is all one guy. No, that's definitely because we look back here and that's definitely his arm. All right, so he must have done knuckles at some point. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Doesn't look right to me. It's really hard to say because that's definitely his pictures. So at some point he must have got the knuckles done. I don't know. Or unless that's part of the other guy's arm. That's part of the other guy's arm. Okay, we got this all jumbled up. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's start with the first guy's arm, which is
it doesn't
this
really
one.
matter.
I'm
this
assuming.
is the first healed pass. And we just won't talk about the other guy's arm again. Because, again, we're real professionals here. These are good reasons why when people are like, oh, he's editing everything. He's not a real person. It's like, I barely have my pants on.
Well, Remy is not super amazing with technology.
No.
I don't know if you like. This is like a feat for him that he's able to do
Yeah.
as much as he's doing, because when I met him, this was not on the table.
I'm a dum-dum when it comes to technology. So if you're thinking I'm editing anything, these are barely going up.
He's not editing any, like, he is now, but in the beginning, he had to teach himself how to do a lot of it, and a lot of it was me being like, hey, you should try this, and then him figuring it out.
Well, for the longest time, my vlogs didn't have thumbnails.
No.
And then they didn't have captions and pictures and stuff like that. There was no intro. This has all been a growing experience. But anyway.
Yes. Let's talk about this arm.
This arm
finally.
Is this arm. And you know, the funny thing is like I was saying, the basic bitch starter kit.
Well, I mean, both of them have the same amount of blackout.
They both did the same amount on their arm.
Just the one goes a little farther. Like, this one isn't over the knuckles. The other one is over the knuckles.
It was honestly almost impossible to tell that it wasn't. If you didn't have those knuckle tattoos, there would have been no telling.
I know, right? Because it's like basically the same. Although I think that the artist that did the other one had a smoother ending. This guy.
But like it looks like the same
blackout
thing, but healed.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not at all bad for the first try, but there's some stuff that needs to be smoothed out. See, you can see the mag lines here.
Yeah.
That's where like some of that will kind of fade off, but you're gonna want to go through and sort that out.
Do a big smoothing pass over everything.
Yeah, you can get in with like a bigger mag than what you used most likely, and you'll be like just kind of skating. You're not really having to build the black. You're then just kind of reinforcing the black or like
sort of running it over.
Yeah, so second passes they're not so much there to make things darker as they are there to make things smoother. And he's still got some healing in here too. Some of that stuff is still healing.
Like
the shiny
definitely
spots.
some healing bits.
There's some spots on the hand, and that's always going to be the case where it's not as solid as the rest. But overall, this is a good first pass, and I don't really have anything else to say about it. I think that the guy who did the first pass is perfectly capable of producing a really nice result. I hope that you go farther.
Yeah, you kind of cut it off at a weird spot here at the top.
I kind of like the way that they started, like, or the way that they finished it for now. Better than sometimes they just leave whatever mess.
I know, I hate the whatever mess.
Like I remember I seen Scott did one. Scott was on the podcast. Yeah, he did the fucking one of the wackiest chest blackout designs I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he just left the guy with like this weird like monster shape going up his, like, it was like, what the fuck is that? It looks like someone took a bite out of his chest.
And then if you look at
they have to live with
like
this.
Ash's blackouts, like Terry ended them so beautifully.
Yeah.
You know, it's so nice.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty good. So this is the guy we already talked about his knuckles.
Barely though. We barely talked about his knuckles. What does he say? Good afternoon. I'm a huge fan of your YouTube channel and of course your ink. I would love to get your opinion on my blackout work.
That was this
that first arm that we had looked at.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Like unfortunately there's not a lot for me to say about a fresh blackout. Like there really isn't.
Right? No, because it always looks shiny and new.
Well, and like I have a perfect example. Like you're starting to be able to see the nicks and flaws in this, right? Because the swelling will come up and then it's hard to see what's saturated and what isn't. Also, your skin is always hanging on to fresh ink and its dryness, right? So it's really hard to tell what you've got there until it's healed. It honestly is, because right now your skin is holding on to almost like a paint layer, right? And you won't know what's there until it starts healing. Even before it peels, you can kind of start to see it because all the swelling goes away and the inflammation comes down. And you can see the spots that aren't fully solid. And then you can see kind of what you're left with. Here, this was like pitch black everywhere.
I mean, it still looks pitch black.
It is, but like you can see when I bend that the knuckles aren't solid still.
No, of course. And then like all of that black layer is going to shed back down to that more gray black. That's how blackouts work, guys. Don't be alarmed.
Be very lucky if it's any better than it was the last time.
So then it looks like he's got like a pretty cool chest panel happening here, chest and stomach.
Yeah, he does. That's a really bad photo though. Like that's better better.
That's a better photo.
The first photos are terrible.
This is really cool. It's a blast over, I'd say.
Yeah, this is always the case when you see these designs with these big black panels. They're almost always hiding the worst of it. And then the swirls, you can see the old work through. They usually use those, and these are kind of always, they're not drawn on typically on your body, but you can imagine yourself taking a photo of his torso and then putting it in Procreate, and you draw these panels on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think like this was really nicely done by the artist, because I think that they're doing a really good job of accentuating the masculine form. So like we've got that line coming up his stomach. We've got like those sort of lower muscle, the side panels, the like, do you know what I mean? Like it's really like
he gets some, I do see what you mean.
the different curvature of the body. Like I really like how it was done.
He gets some credit for going over the nipples where they needed to be. I personally think that like if this design was done on me, I would want to get rid of the rest of the nipple here. And you don't really lose anything in that either, up from the design. Just because like leaving the pink of it is a little bit distracting to me.
I don't think it's any more distracting than the old tattoos underneath.
Definitely with the belly button, especially because he has an outie.
Yeah,
which is rare.
It looks like they kind of tried to, but that one middle portion, I don't know if maybe they were just too afraid to like go over that.
It wouldn't have cost them anything to just make that whole thing black.
Yeah.
But nipples and belly buttons are both something that will need to be done generally more than once. It's not enough. I remember we had an artist here who was tattooing a guy's nipple recently, and like I was like, oh yeah, just so you know, that'll probably need more than one hit. She was like, I'm not worried about it. It's like, all right. So she went over it quick and fast and whatever. And by the end of the session, the guy had bled out most of the ink that was put in, and they were almost completely pink anyway.
Poor guy.
When he came back to the shop again for his next appointment, it looked like the nipples weren't even tattooed.
All like, that pain for nothing.
Don't disrespect the nipple.
Wow.
Like, don't dare disrespect it. And I've had enough work done on me.
Yeah.
But if I tell you something like that, you better believe it. Like,
well, and
I'm not telling you for fun.
I don't know if it was you who said it or who said it in the shop, but someone in the shop said that the nipple skin is kind of like the knee. It feels really tough.
It's like a big knuckle.
Yeah, or like a knuckle.
It's like a knuckle on your chest. That's what Rick has said.
Yeah, which I think makes sense.
It's like a rubber knuckle.
Yeah. Because
it's just like this weird. And like even to touch your nipple, it doesn't feel like normal skin.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to like really get it in there. And last time Rick tattooed my nipples, he spent 37 minutes on the two of them because he was like, "Oh, we're gonna attack it from every angle." That was the 7th time we've worked on mine, and we had them good at 6. But like then when I pierced them, they started lightening up almost.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't know what it is about like the nipples just in general, but like even yours like have lightened up a little bit.
Yeah, they're a little greenish looking.
Yeah.
They're still fine, but like I will hit them again at some point. I even said then like I'll probably hit these again.
Yeah.
Like because I want mine to be fucking good to go forever.
Forever.
And so if that means that I have to do them again, then that's what it means. And even here when you close up, like that's pretty good, but they're not as black as what's around them.
Right.
They're a little bit grayer than the black around them. I will also mention while we're here, this is color on darker skin. Even though his original tattoos aren't the best, that he's clearly now blacking out, the artist that put them in was able to saturate darker skin pretty well.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of the saturation.
And because I get so many people who ask me all the time, if you can get color on black, how come people can't get color on dark skin? And it's like, you can. And if you have an artist telling you you can't, it's probably because he doesn't want to try, or it's like he thinks it's going to be more effort than it's worth, or that you're not going to be happy with the result. It's always going to be coming through your skin tone.
Yeah, it's just understanding that your skin tone is always going to affect the
you
color
have realistic
of the
expectations.
ink. Yes, yeah. Make sure that like, as I think as a tattoo artist, just giving that person realistic expectations as to what's going to happen, right? Is like,
but like it's still not bad. Like this is brighter than some color on.
Yeah,
like,
I mean
very
this
pale
green
people
is
I've
like
seen.
fairly vibrant. Like when I saw that, I was like, holy cow!
And
like
you got to bear in
amazing.
mind too that these aren't the best quality tattoos,
Right?
And they were still able to do. Mm-hmm. So, I think pretty much whatever color is possible with a real like color tech guy, you know, like someone who does color all the time, probably be able to get pretty vibrant color here. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I like the torso design. It's pretty cool.
Me too.